The power went out at 11:13 p.m. The last thing I heard before the lights died was the sound of my drill turning on by itself. And then, the sound of someone breathing through the static of my baby monitor. Halloween night. I was in the garage, halfway through cleaning out the mess I'd been putting off all year. Old tools, dusty paint cans, cobwebs thick as gauze. My wife, Emily, had taken our daughter trick-or-treating earlier, and I promised I'd do something useful while they were gone. That something turned into reorganizing the workbench while nursing a cheap beer. The garage light flickered every so often, that harsh, buzzing fluorescent that hums just before it dies for good. It always gave me headaches. Outside, the sound of laughter drifted through the street. Kids shouting, candy bags crinkling, parents calling after them. It felt like the kind of night nothing bad could happen. But I couldn't shake this heaviness. The kind that settles in your gut when you're being watched, even though you're alone. It started small. The radio on my workbench, the one I keep for background noise, began to glitch. It wasn't static at first. It was voices, like a CB channel. Left the door open, don't go in there, then silence. I thought maybe I was picking up some ham operator, but when I reached for the dial, it changed again. A deep male voice, low, crackling, still using hand tools. He upgraded, you know. I froze. I laughed it off, because come on, it had to be some Halloween prank or interference. Still, I unplugged the radio, and the voice kept talking. Still in the garage? He likes garages. That's where he waits. The fluorescent light above me buzzed, then popped, raining sparks. The entire garage dimmed to a dull orange glow from the streetlight outside. I reached for my phone. Dead. No service. That's when I heard it, a faint scraping from outside the garage door. Metal against concrete. Slow, deliberate, like someone dragging a hook. I tried to laugh again, to convince myself it was a prank. Maybe Emily's brother pulling a Halloween stunt. But when I walked to the garage door and peered through the crack at the bottom, I saw boots. Work boots. Old, covered in mud. And a shadow, long, wide shoulders, head tilted slightly like he was listening. I reached for the wall switch to close the garage. But before I could, a power saw on the far end of the room roared to life. Sparks burst from the blade as it spun uncontrollably, whining like a scream. I stumbled back, yelling, "Who's there?" The saw screeched to a stop. Silence. Then, 3 slow knocks on the metal garage door. Knock, 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 followed by a whisper. "You shouldn't leave the lights on after midnight." I ran for the interior door, the one that led to the house. Locked. From the other side, I pounded on it, shouting for Emily. No answer. The garage smelled like burnt rubber now, and oil. Something chemical. Something wrong. Then the motion sensor light outside the garage blinked on, and I saw him through the small window in the door. Tall, wearing a dark raincoat that glistened with something wet. His head cocked to one side, and in his hand, not a hook, not anymore, a cordless reciprocating saw. He lifted it to his shoulder like it was an extension of his arm. The motor sputtered to life, and the glass on the door cracked from the vibration. I backed away, tripping over the toolbox. Drills and screwdrivers spilled everywhere. Then the lights all went out. Pitch black. The only sound, that saw. Closer now. Hitting metal. Sparks dancing in the dark like fireflies. I crawled behind the car, breathing through my teeth, trying not to make a sound. He wasn't walking. He was dragging something. Heavy. Every few seconds, a metallic clink. Like he was dropping a wrench. Or a finger. I could see the faint outline of his boots under the car now. Slow steps. Then silence. He stopped. And a second later, a drill bit began to spin on its own. One by one, every tool on my bench started to buzz, hum, and shake. The screwdriver spun in circles. The hammer tapped on its own. And then the saw blade flew off the table, slammed into the wall beside me, inches from my head. He was controlling them, or something was. My breath fogged the air. The temperature dropped 10 degrees in seconds. And I swear I heard something inside the power tools whispering. Faint, metallic voices saying my name. Ryan. Ryan, open the door. I bolted for the side exit, kicked it open, sprinted into the backyard. The street was empty. No cars. No kids. Just darkness and the faint sound of the saw still whining somewhere behind me. I made it to the front door, banged on it, screaming for Emily to open up. When she did, she looked half asleep. Ryan, what the hell are you doing? She asked. I tried to explain, but she just frowned. Ryan, there's nobody outside, she said. Your phone's been off all night. We got home at 9. She pointed to the garage. Everything's fine. I turned. The lights were back on. No sparks, no scorch marks, no broken door. Just quiet. The saw sat perfectly still on the workbench, untouched. Emily told me I must have dozed off in the living room, dreamed it all. But when I walked into the garage one last time before bed, I saw something new. A fresh set of fingerprints burned into the metal of my toolbox, long, streaked, and smudged with oil. And next to it, etched into the workbench, "See you next Halloween, Ryan." The drill on the bench clicked once, then again, and from the baby monitor in the house, the sound of that same static breath, followed by 3 words. Low. Metallic. He upgraded again.